In this podcast episode, Joe Rogan hosts Brigham Buhler, a health innovation expert deeply involved in regenerative medicine, peptides, and the evolving landscape of healthcare regulation. Their wide-ranging conversation spans the challenges and breakthroughs in peptide therapies, testosterone and hormone replacement therapy, the influence of big pharma on healthcare innovation, gene sequencing, stem cell advances, especially Muse stem cells, and the vision for a future healthcare system that prioritizes preventative and personalized care over traditional sick care models. Brigham opens by addressing widespread allergy symptoms plaguing many, linking it anecdotally to environmental spikes and seasonal changes. He discusses the complex regulatory battles surrounding peptides, which serve as a foundational element in preventive health. Peptides were recently classified as dangerous by the FDA under previous leadership, a move described as a Trojan horse, complicating access and clarity. Despite submitting numerous FOIA requests, meaningful dialogue was absent until the current administration under Secretary Robert Kennedy Jr., who, as a peptide user himself, offers a more informed and open perspective. This shift has opened new dialogues aiming to reclassify peptides, highlighting how entrenched dogma and bureaucratic inertia have impeded innovations that millions already benefit from. The episode thoroughly debunks long-standing myths about testosterone therapy and prostate cancer, tracing fears back to a flawed and tiny 1930s study involving merely 3 patients, one of whom was chemically castrated. Brigham explains how later research, including that by Dr. Morgan Tyler in the 1990s, disproved the notion that testosterone therapy causes or exacerbates prostate cancer. He notes the FDA's recent moves toward removing black box warnings on hormone therapies, reflecting contemporary science that heightens their importance in preserving healthspan. These advancements challenge decades of dogma and misinterpretation, further illustrating systemic resistance to change within healthcare. Brigham provides a critical analysis of the pharmaceutical industry's role in shaping healthcare innovation and regulation. The immense cost, often $1 to $3 billion per drug, and complexity of bringing a pharmaceutical product to market has created barriers that limit accessibility and innovation outside traditional systems. He exposes the intertwined roles of taxpayer-funded NIH research foundations and their licensing to pharma, revealing the paradox of public-funded innovation being monopolized for profit. The lobbying power of big pharma profoundly affects legislation, especially on peptides and emerging drugs like GLP-1s, which dominate weight loss markets yet have complicated compounding pharmacy access. Brigham critiques current patent protections, monopoly strategies, and their ripple effects on patient care affordability and availability. The discussion transitions to GLP-1 agonists, peptides used for weight loss, highlighting their massive market success and subsequent legal and regulatory drama fueled by pharmaceutical lobbying. He explains how companies like Hims created marketing disruptions by compounding and advertising these drugs, violating legal statutes regarding brand names and patent protections. This led to backlash and rapid deals between such companies and pharma giants like Novo Nordisk, unfolding a strategic battle to control this burgeoning market segment. The episode underscores the demand for patient access versus industry attempts to centralize control, while also noting the safety concerns inherent in unregulated black and gray market products. Brigham stresses the risks of unregulated peptide markets, where black and gray market products lacking clinical oversight or consistent dosing put consumers at risk. He notes that 4 out of 5 peptides in circulation come from these markets, many without clinician involvement, dosing protocols, or quality control. The consequences include potential adverse events or ineffective treatments, amplified by influencers' unregulated promotion. He advocates for restoring balanced regulatory frameworks that protect patients through clinician oversight and quality assurance without stifling innovation or accessibility. The conversation turns to promising legislative progress at the state level, citing examples like Texas, Florida, and Arizona implementing compassionate use laws and regulatory pathways supporting peptides, stem cells, and biologic therapies. These state initiatives often act faster than federal actions, signaling a potential model for expanding access and innovation without federal bottlenecks. Brigham sees these programs as critical stopgaps and potential pilots for a nationwide shift that includes stem cell therapies, given their proven safety and emerging efficacy profiles. Medical tourism's role and the opportunity to position states as innovation hubs are also discussed. A recurring theme is the critique of the U.S. healthcare system's entrenched sick care model, focused on symptom management and pharmaceuticals rather than proactive prevention. Brigham discusses how insurance-driven limitations, brief clinical encounters, and reliance on prescription drugs contribute to epidemic-level chronic disease and unsustainable costs. He advocates for a paradigm centered on proactive, personalized, and predictive healthcare using advanced diagnostics, including comprehensive blood work, gene sequencing, and wearable technology to enable real-time health optimization and extended health span. Brigham emphasizes gene sequencing as a critical yet underutilized tool in personalized healthcare. He explains how understanding patients' genetic software can reveal vulnerabilities or strengths, like predispositions to tendinopathies, bone density issues, immune responses, or infections, allowing tailored interventions. He references collaborations with experts who highlight the potential to not only read, but ultimately modulate gene expression through emerging gene editing technologies. The discussion acknowledges epigenetics, the environment's influence on gene expression, and the hope that AI-driven algorithms embedded in digital health platforms can democratize and scale personalized, genome-informed medicine. The episode delves deeply into breakthrough research on Muse, multi-lineage stress-enduring stem cells, a rare subtype discovered by Dr. Mari Dazawa. Unlike traditional mesenchymal stem cells, MSCs, limited by phenotype and engraftment, Muse cells hold true pluripotency, can adapt to and replace damaged cell types, and exhibit remarkable resilience. Their unique abilities include immunomodulation, non-tumorigenicity, and high targeted engraftment rates, making them potent candidates for regenerative therapies. Clinical data, including applications for neurocognitive disorders, traumatic injuries, and transplant tolerance, demonstrate Muse cells' transformative potential. While widely used abroad, regulatory barriers have limited U.S. access, stimulating calls for updated legislation to enable availability. Brigham introduces therapeutic plasma exchange, plasmapheresis, as an emerging longevity and inflammatory modulation therapy. Described as akin to an oil change for the blood, the process removes inflammatory markers, toxins, microplastics, and endocrine disruptors, replacing plasma with healthy albumin. Examples include its benefits on hormone restoration and chronic fatigue reduction, illustrated by notable cases like Philip Franklin Lee's significant testosterone rebound post-treatment. He underscores the promise of combining plasma exchange with stem cell and peptide therapies for enhanced rejuvenation, especially as personalized protocols evolve. Throughout the discussion, Brigham highlights the role of AI, large language models, and integrated digital platforms in scaling high-quality, concierge-style healthcare. Tools like Alan, an intelligent chatbot drawing on patient records to aid clinical engagement, exemplify next-generation models intended to make expert health guidance accessible and affordable. The integration of wearable data, advanced imaging, blood work, gene sequencing, and real-time analytics aims to enable continuous monitoring and dynamic adjustments to optimize individual health trajectories, far surpassing traditional episodic care. Both guests acknowledge the formidable inertia within existing healthcare and regulatory frameworks, emphasizing that profit motives, institutional dogma, and lobbying impede adoption of innovative, preventative medical strategies. However, the increasing public skepticism toward authority, coupled with demonstrable patient successes in alternative and regenerative therapies, is driving momentum. Brigham encourages building life rafts, alternative care models independent of insurance or government control, to offer patients sovereignty over their health decisions. He expresses optimism that the emerging synthesis of biologics, gene editing, personalized diagnostics, digital health, and proactive care can usher in a new healthcare era focused on true health span extension rather than chronic disease management. Despite technological advances, the conversation circles back to the irreplaceable human element in healthcare. Brigham stresses that technology is only a tool, and genuine healing requires trusted relationships between motivated patients and dedicated clinicians. He contrasts corporate telemedicine models, often driven by rapid medication dispensing, with integrated patient-focused care that tracks outcomes longitudinally, educates patients, and fosters partnership. This emphasis on quality and integrity forms the foundational ethos for Ways to Well, his healthcare organization dedicated to evidence-based, accessible, and patient-first longevity medicine.